All right, Nigel, welcome to the Brain Talk Moment. How are you today?
Very well. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I know you're a very super busy man, and I thank you so much for being available to speak to me today.
Well, it's a blessing that you were able to invite me. I know you have some projects going on also.
Talk to me a little bit about your what do you do in your business?
So I do consulting for audiovisual webinars, hybrid meetings, webcasts,
Okay.
and we manage the technical side of everything.
Let me ask you a question. With building a foundation for a business, I know this can take a long time. All right. So what advice would you give someone that's building a foundation for a business?
Knowing what you're going to get yourself into, because the reality is it's going to be overwhelming. It's going to be a lot of work, and you just have to know your craft. Even if you have the experience by volunteering, by doing some type of uh, internship, whatever it takes, know what you're getting yourself into because it costs some money to do anything and time, and you have to put the effort into it. Somebody told me if you want to become a surgeon, it does not happen overnight. That's your craft.
Right, right.
Doing it for decades and years. When you wake up in the morning, you know every move you have to make in order to get to that surgery or that task that you have to perform perfect.
Okay. So now, for someone to get started, all right, of course, a great foundation is very important. For someone to get started, what do they need? How can they start a business?
Well, you can start with an idea, but when it's time to execute and get it to the next level, that's where the road meets the rubber. That's where you're gonna come across a lot of obstacles. And either you give up and you move on to something else, which is what a lot of people do, and that's fine. You move on to not something else, or you overcome those obstacles. Um, Starting a tech company, you have to do research. You have to know you got to have a vision, and you have to know when to exit because it's easy to come down that graph. If you look at a graph, like you look at stock market, you can be climbing
Okay.
and going up, and when it's time to come down, you have to know how to get out real quick.
Was that
No,
it?
it's just knowing when to exit. That's uh that's a big part of it. And you can always exit and come back again and and continue or start all over, but you don't want to fail. You start a project, you complete it, you get paid, you move on to another project, but not every client's going to be the same. Not every project is going to be similar. Every install, every setup is going to be totally different.
Oh, okay. So from what I'm understanding is, it's like when you have a contract, you need to know when to how to close that contract properly. So that this is how I'm understanding when you said when to exit, how to close that contract properly so that that client can come back to you in the future.
You need to know to stay in your lane also, because you can take on a project
Okay.
that's not your cup of tea. It's not something that you can handle. You don't have the resources to do it. You don't have the financial stability to do it, and you need to know an exit plan.
Okay. So if someone is starting a business, they already have a business name. What else do they need to get started? Because a great foundation, like we mentioned earlier, is super important. What else do they need in order for them to have a great business foundation?
Well, there's a lot of technical things you need. Obviously, the domain, start working on some type of spreadsheet that has a punch list to it. I mean, we're talking about building out the financial part of it, the HR part of it, the IT infrastructure out of it. I mean, anybody can put together a website and say that's their business, but there's different departments that you have to manage.
Okay.
Uh, when it comes to hiring people, you need to know what their limitations are. And if you hire somebody, you need to understand that it's your business and things needs to be run your way. Now, you don't have to micromanage everything, but it is your business. And if that's how you have to handle it, yes, you do need to micromanage.
Okay.
But you can set yourself up that you don't have to.
All right.
That may come later on.
All right. So I'm gonna come back to that micromanagement, but however, you said something earlier. Domain name. Does your domain name sometimes, if you do set up a domain name, can that lead your business to success, and can that lead your business to failure based on the type of domain name that you select?
Absolutely. And you can do multiple domain names. So I had a company that invested in my company and they wanted to be part of it. And Palm Beach Live Streaming decided to invest in a way that there's security behind my company. So when it comes to any type of lawsuits, any type of financial disagreements, I have some type of leverage with my company because it's easy to get sued. And if you don't know the laws, you don't know um, the security behind your company, that's very that can be a big problem. So having multiple domains can
Okay.
solve a lot of problems.
Okay. So now you talk about getting sued, and that part right here can frustrate a lot of people. Now, when you say that, if you're doing some, obviously, if somebody hires you to do a job, you do the job right, you're not gonna get sued. And in what instance you think someone can get sued?
Well, there's a lot of legal people out there that see. So, for example, you have to be confidential about your business.
Hmm.
A lot of people want to know what's your earnings last year, or how did you do this quarter. Information like that is very um, confidential. People want to get into your business and they're scouting out. They're feeling the the vibe of the company, how successful you are, and you don't want to give them that information. If somebody know you're a multimillionaire company that's bringing in X amount of money, that's the door that you just open for them to come in. And they're going to be your best friend. They're going to invest in you, and you don't know what you're going to get yourself into. Um, so the legal side of it, you need to know the tax laws.
Okay.
I don't know all the tax laws.
Okay.
I have an accountant, but my accountant is very legit and straightforward. He's not gonna. He's gonna help me do my taxes correct, but he's not gonna bend the rules.
Nice. Nice. Really good. So your accountant would be a professional CPA. Would be a CPA, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Very good. So how important it is to have a CPA, not just somebody that can file tax. How important it is to have a CPA.
Extremely important because the tax rules changes even throughout the year. I thought, let's just say, it starts in January, the fiscal year, and you have to have your taxes done uh, by April. I thought the rules were actually stay the same, and it's possible that the laws in the tax laws it can be manipulated a little bit throughout those months
Okay.
and throughout the whole year. So consistently, the rules are changing.
Okay.
Nowadays, a lot of people can use QuickBooks as a solution and then do reports and take that report to their accounting, depending on the scale of their business, the size, the type of business, um, the type of business that they're operating. That's an easy way to do taxes.
How can micromanagement benefit someone, and why is it good, and why is it bad?
So if you're deep into a project and things are not, I don't mean the word by falling apart, but you're under a time restriction and you need to speed things up, that's the time to jump in. As a leader, you have to jump in and make sure that the project is completed on time. It could
Okay.
be building a set,
Okay.
it could be getting a Zoom call ready and getting the invite out and getting everybody on the same page. I mean, it can be something simple as miking up somebody and you only have less than a minute to do it, and you only have that person that's gonna get mic'd up. You need to get it done. If you want to call it micromanagement, that's fine. But whatever you have to do, because you're under a time restriction, you just have to get it done.
Okay. All right. I understand. So I know in the corporate world, timing is very important. Even like a 2 second delay can mean a lot in that industry, and that can have a company to refund a lot of money. That I know for sure. So now I have another question for you. Do I need, if I have the money, okay, and I would like to, I have the idea, I have the money, I wanted to start a business. Do I really need to know what I'm getting into?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Do your due diligence. Um, because you can become real successful real quick. And what's the next step? You can do one big project and you can be successful and on to the next project, and you're going to want to grow the company, and it's the vision. The vision is very important.
So
Uh,
would that leans into the good foundation?
well, starting off small, that's my advice.
Okay.
See what works, what doesn't work, what needs to be addressed. Um, Hiring people, it's going to take time to get the right personnel for the right position. That does not happen the first time. I wish if it did happen right away. And then the unexpected. You're always going to have the unexpected bills, the the subscriptions, the things are going to pop up. You're always going to have something unexpected.
So now, I know starting a business, people needs to keep one thing in mind is to solve someone's problem. In your business, what problem are you solving?
So people like to use the word disrupting the industry. So we're in the world of live events. There's going to be a time when people cannot get on a plane and travel and do meetings, incentive meetings, training meetings, very important meetings that they used to travel and host other people. And that's going to become very challenging to do.
Now, what you are saying can bring a lot of stress. So, are you saying that there's a possibility? something like COVID might happen? Because you said there's going to be a time where people won't be able to travel and do meetings, so meetings will be virtually. You feel like something like COVID might happen in the
Well,
future?
you have to look at trends of the industry. What works in our scenario for budget, for convenience, for a CEO to drop everything, especially on a Monday, to get on a plane, to fly to a destination, get into a hotel, to go to a meeting. They might be meeting investors. This might be a more important meeting that they have to have that one-on-one uh, interactive with. Take them out, get them to dinner or lunch, and get back on a plane, get back home to their family. That there's a lot of things that can go wrong.
Okay.
You miss the flight, or the flight gets delayed, and now you're disrupting the whole process.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the cost to do that, they could have taken that budget of traveling expense and used that in a different way.
Okay.
And that can turn into a video conference. That can turn into uh, a webinar. Um, I mean, yes, it's nice to interact with the person one on one and shake their hands and make eye contact with them and see their expression and body language. Yes, that's very nice, but there's a price to pay to do that.
Is your main focus is more hybrid?
Hybrid is something that I do daily. There's a lot of hybrid meetings. When it comes to e-learning, there's a lot of platforms that companies use for e-learning to train their employees. Even universities, they record the presenter or the teachers, and if the kids are not, or if the students are not attending that day, they can still go home and do the curriculum and watch um, the training that the teacher was doing. And there's a lot of platforms out there that needs that deployment in companies. An education system, there's a lot of regulations, and you have to know what is required to install that into an educational classroom.
Got it. All right. So let's take a look here again. Let's dive deep into this now. Design your custom system.
So something simple as a robotic camera
Okay.
that's connected to your computer that to do a Zoom meeting with multiple people in the room. That's a technology that very easy to set up. Anybody can set that up.
Anybody?
I mean, but
Okay.
now with the whole AI, artificial intelligence, and the technology out there of controlling a camera and turning it around, you can do that with other devices.
Okay.
Audio is very, very important in these meeting rooms. So you're not going to have the time to mic up everybody in a meeting, in a corporate boardroom, and then have a mixer in the room, and then have a tech in the room when it's all confidential. That type of meeting is not the vision that the clients really want anymore.
Oh,
So
so,
now you use a device that has some kind of artificial intelligence
okay.
and uh, picking up the people that are talking. Is something that can sit into a middle of a boardroom.
Okay.
It's like a webcam, but it points to whoever is talking, and it can be multiple people talking.
Okay.
And the audio picks up the person that's talking in a
Mm-hmm.
directional mic, And that's a great solution for a confidential meeting in a boardroom.
Okay. So now let's take a look at social events. You do social events. Let's take a look at social events here. Photography, digital display, audio reinforcement. Okay. Zoom in audience. Okay. Let's go down. Dream weddings. Wow. This is amazing. So you provide, in this instance, you would have to be physically there. So you would provide a speaker, microphone, and a screen if they needed to a wedding.
That's a service that can be done easily.
Okay.
Uh, But now, what are you going to do if somebody cannot attend a wedding and you want to
Oh,
interact?
you really focus into hybrid. I see now. Okay. All right.
Well,
Okay.
really want to interact with somebody that cannot get on a plane and travel, and they want to be part of it, and you don't want social media to become a big what's the word to use? You don't want them to just hold up a phone and they're doing uh, what is it, Facebook Messenger or a live
Okay.
stream.
Okay.
That can just turn into a little bit more uh, complicated when you
Mm-hmm.
start doing that. Now, if that's what the client wants, yes, we can professionally do a live stream for them and host it on Facebook or whatever platform they want. Yes,
Ah.
that's a service. But if you want it to be done the next level and very and security, because you don't want anybody just watching it or popping in and interacting with it, you can do a Zoom meeting for
Okay.
a wedding.
All right. And have you have any clients in the past that's doing a wedding and uh they would like it to be done virtually?
I get a lot of calls to do it, and this point of the way how I do business, I give them the option for them to even do it themselves, and I can even consult with them. And sometimes it's just a phone call that I don't even charge. And with their budget that they have, a lot of them they just want to do a simple Facebook live stream with their phone. And when I give them that answer, yes, they can easily do that without me. Now, for me to come in there and set up a real camera and a real monitor and spec out the correct environment that we're going to do this in, and even if we have to move around with the camera, I have to price that out accurately to them. And yes, that service is available through my company. And yes, it can be done. I can put together a package and I can keep it within their budget. And I can work closely with the camera guy who's already recording the wedding. I can work closely with the photographer in case if they want to deploy any pictures or a slideshow with Zoom. Um, all of that can be integrated easily.
Okay. So now we are very close to the end. I have let's recap on how to build a foundation for a successful business. The list of things that someone would need would be a business name, a registration, set an EIN, and a CPA. A lot of people, even if we list these things, they still don't know how to get to them. Would you happen to know how to get to, for example, how to get somebody to register their business?
Get used to your state um, website. Like for Florida, it's sunbiz.com.
So, with a legal setup for Florida, that would be Sunbiz. Am I right?
So For the state of Florida, yes, but there's
Okay.
a lot other websites and a lot of other companies out there that puts together a package
Okay.
for you to do everything.
All right. Sounds good. So if somebody's not comfortable doing it themselves, they can contact a company to get that done for them.
Well, think about scalability. What do you see yourself a year from now? Is it going to become a LLC? Is it a corporation? Is it an S corporation? So you're going to have to think about scalability
Okay.
and different titles for people that's uh, that's helping you or investing in you for your company. You got to be fair with other people that are giving you the resources that you need. Networking with people, have a platform that you can network with people and make contacts. I've been utilizing Indeed a lot because let's just say you're going into a new town and you need to meet people and associate business with them. What's a great way to meet people? And Indeed, people are looking for work. You can set yourself up with a company and promoting the company and interviewing people and just getting them to know your services that you provide.
Talk to me a little bit about your what do you do in your business?
So I do consulting for audiovisual webinars, hybrid meetings, webcasts,
Okay.
and we manage the technical side of everything. I can travel with clients and we can do their meetings, their training events, their um, incentive meetings, and our services can be lighting, audio, video, streaming. It can also be rigging. It can also be recording there.
What's your website?
Are you ready?
I can actually pull it up here if you're okay with that.
Yeah.
We are an advanced technology company devoted to audiovisual system for live production and multimedia, consulting for ministries, corporate events, and education facilities. All right, look at that. This looks so professional, man.
It's work in progress. When you try to build out a company, you got to start somewhere. You got to
Correct.
have some kind of template, some kind of uh, foundation to build off of.
Now,
So,
how long did it take you to build something great like that? Because I'm looking at this and I really like this thing. You know, let's go down. Let's keep going down real quick. All right, you do have a video. That video introduces your company.
yep. And the services.
Okay. Oh, nice. Look at that. Wow. Based on these pictures, you do a lot in this company.
Well, there's different titles to different people
Okay.
here in production. You got a producer, you got directors, you got the technicians. So I'm not doing everything myself.
All right.
And that's
Understand.
very important. Nowadays, if you're a CEO of a company and you're trying to manage the whole operation, you have to know your limitations. You have to know to hire certain people, train them, get them on board, get them the tools they need, and let them do their craft.
All right. That's really good. So we are going to close this. Is there any last thing would you like to tell us before we close this podcast?
Well, don't give up on whatever your vision is, what your project is. There's a lot of motivational speakers out there that can help you get to the next level. But you, as the individual that's trying to build a business and grow a business, you have to start somewhere. There's a lot of apps out there, and people are turning to these apps, and that's their business idea. They're using, let's just say, if you want to do something simple as Uber, and they're calling it that's their business that they want to do is Uber. There's plenty of platforms like Uber that's out there. Let's just say you need to rent a nice vehicle. You set yourself up, you rent it as needed to transport equipment or transport important people, whatever transportation you need to have those resources ready to go.
All right, sounds good. All right, Nigel, thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate you, and see you next time.
Thank you.